episode 2 of my Grow With Me series. Welcome back. I'm going to take you guys along a little leg day with me. So I'm really excited for that. If you know me, you know how much I love training and how passionate I am about it. But first, we're going to go do our second cardio session of the week. I do 3 sessions right now, just 20 minutes. So honestly, it just feels really good. We incorporated cardio back in recently just because I love how it keeps me structured, and I don't know, it just makes me feel really good and energized, and just, I don't know, I love it so much. But we're gonna go do that. I'm gonna show you guys my favorite little cardio drink. I do the Relight electrolytes. I just get this off Amazon. This is the pina colada flavor. I've never tried any other flavor, and I just love this one so much. I don't know if I can, but maybe. I got this a month ago, and I do a scoop every day, and I still sorry, it's smoking. I still have half of the tub, so definitely a good investment. I think it's $40. But what I do is I make this and I put it in the freezer while I get dressed and ready, and it's like a little cardio slushy while I'm doing my cardio. So I really love this. But anyways, we're gonna go get this cardio session done. I'm gonna come back, kind of wash off, and I'll show you guys the pre-workout meal, and then we're gonna go train some legs. Here's our pre-workout meal: 80 grams of rice cereal, 110 grams of frozen blueberries, 20 grams of honey, and then 10 grams of coconut oil, and 30 grams of protein powder made into a whey drip and sprinkled on top. We have our morning subs, and then some iced coffee, and I'll watch some YouTube and eat this, let it digest, and then we'll head to the gym. Alright guys, you know the drill. We have to have all our beverages to go to the gym. So this is my pre-workout. It's just non-stim, my intra-carb, and then in here I have my EAs, and there's also some salt in here. But we're going to drink our pre, sip on our intra while we work out, and then also our EAs, and we're about to go train some legs.
Alright guys, we are at the gym now. It's of course a glute and hamstring day, so I'm just going to do a little mini voiceover and just talk you guys through my workout and then some cues and tips and tricks. So I didn't show, but I do have some mobility work that I do before my training, my upper and my lower. For lower, it's just getting some blood into my legs. I like to do a lot of hip mobility. I have super tight hips, so I really like to open those so my glutes are able to fully stretch and contract. And then I just do a little bit of activation exercise just to make sure I'm really feeling my glutes. So I'm starting out with abductions. It's just to kind of help warm things up still, fire those glutes up, open the hips up. And if you see here, I'm sitting back. I do use 2 yoga blocks just to help me get a full range of motion. This machine, if I don't use them, I don't really get that in part of the movement. So I really love using those. And if you notice here, I do train pretty intense. I have just 2 working sets for every exercise here, but both of those working sets are taken to absolute failure. And if you notice, I do knock out a lot of partials just to make sure I'm just getting as much as I can out of the movement. So next we are going to be moving into some Smith machine hip thrusts. These are my absolute favorite way to do hip thrusts. I used to do them on a barbell, but it was just a lot to load up, and then also I just didn't feel as stable, and I love the stability aspect that the Smith machine gives me. If you can see here, I use a bench that is 1 notch lower than being totally flat, and that's just because I feel it helps me really watch when I come down how I'm just coming off of it. If it's totally straight up, I feel it's way too high, and I just feel it's awkward on my back. So I don't know, I like doing this, and I like doing it this way instead of horizontal, because I feel when it's horizontal it gets in the way of my elbows, and I don't know, I've just really learned to just love this way, and it just works for me. So form here, as you can see, I'm getting full hip extension at the top. I do slightly hold it for a second or 2, and when I come down, the biggest thing here that I see a lot of people doing is once they get to the bottom of that movement, they let their lower back just fall. And that puts so much strain on your low back, and it's just asking for an injury. But also, it's taking all the tension and load off of your glutes. So don't do that. A big reason for it is because a lot of people are lifting way too heavy on this movement. I used to be this girl that would load up like 3 plates and a 25 on each side. There's no way that my glutes were doing any of that work. So don't be scared to drop the weight back and go slow. Really connect with your glutes, get your form down, and then start loading on the weight. So here's a different angle for you guys. Some more cues here is my knees stay over my ankles the whole entire time. You don't want your knees drifting far forward over your toe because that's just quad, and too far away from your body is just going to be more hamstring. So exactly 90 degree angle right there. And if you can see, I don't have my chin super tucked, and I also don't have it like laying back hyperextending. It's just neutral. And any leg movement you do, you want to keep your neck and your spine neutral. So next we're going to be moving on to some squats, and they're not your typical squat with a lot of knee flexion or just going all the way down. These are very glute biased squats here, so these took me a long time to figure out. So cues here, I do kind of have a low bar positioning, and I stand slightly in front of the bar. And as you can see here, I'm really just initiating that hip movement back. I'm letting my shins travel ever so slightly backwards, and then I never let my knees travel forward because that's all quad. For me and my physique, I do not need more quad for the bikini division. I need more glutes and hamstrings. And I only go down to about 30 to 45 degrees here, and that's just my glutes range of motion. You know, any lower, that's just low back taking over, or even my quads could potentially take over. So while I finish this set and the next set, I wanted to talk about the fact that a lot of people are just chasing more volume. Their glutes aren't growing, and they're like, oh, I need more volume, I need more exercises, I need more sets. And that's not always the case. I think a lot of people try to load on the volume in desperations to grow, but you actually have to just look at your training intensity. Look at what you're doing. Are you actually pushing yourself? Are you going to failure? Odds are you just are not training hard enough, and you just don't need more volume. All you need is 5 to 6 exercises, and take those sets that you're doing to absolute failure. You have warm-up sets, but those working sets should put you on the ground. Like, you should be so tired after you get done with like your 5th exercise or 6th when you cannot do anymore. I used to get a program and I would just like add on exercises or sets because I was just, oh, I need more. But actually, it was just because I wasn't training hard enough. All right, time for my absolute favorite, or one of my favorites for the glutes. It's the belt squat RDL. Now, when I first started doing these, I did not feel my glutes at all. All I felt was my low back. And then my coach told me to staple my toes into the ground, and that changed it for me. I think I was just putting a lot of like weight into my heels and like just trying to hinge back, and it just put a lot of load on my low back. So cues here, staple your big toe into the ground. Really think about hinging your hips back, and I like to think about a band is almost pulling me back. Another tip is I try not to let my shoulders fall below my hips. I mean, maybe they go a little bit, but if they go like a lot below your hips, you're going to get nothing but your low back. Also, keep your core super tight, keep those lats engaged, and really just, I like to think my torso is almost dead weight, and I'm moving the whole movement with just my hips and my glutes. I do kind of stand slightly wider with all these movements. Actually, the neutral stance just doesn't work for me. I think it's how tall I am and how long my legs are. But play around and find what works for you. And also, don't be scared to use your straps because your legs are way stronger than your grip strength. Alright guys, I'm so sorry. I just listened to how awful this voiceover audio sounds, but I will fix it for the next one, but we're just going to keep working with it because I'm almost done. But anyways, next we're moving on to some kickbacks. So there's different kickback variations. Right here I'm doing a glute max kickback, and you notice how I'm like slightly going up with that foot there, and I'm kicking straight back. That's all glute max right there. If I was to like kind of go diagonally out like 30 or 45 degrees, that's more of your glute medius. But glute max kickbacks here, I like these instead of the machine because I feel like I get a better range of motion. Like, you really get a huge stretch on your glute when you go forward right there and then you kick back. So yes, I love these. And these little attachments I got off Amazon. DM me on Instagram and I'll send them to you if you want some. The last movement here is going to be lying hamstring curls, and I was pretty gassed at this point. Yeah, I'm only doing 5 to 6 exercises, but guys, like, that's what training with a high intensity does. Like, you don't need a bunch of volume or a bunch of different exercises. You just need to train hard, train to failure, and you'll create the stimulus. You don't need a whole bunch of volume. Just take the volume you have and train so hard. But anyways, just some cues here. I'm really just digging myself into that pad. I'm tucking my hips in, and I'm just taking it to failure. And I really do prefer these over the seated leg curl because I just connect better with my hamstrings. I feel like I get a better contraction, and it just fires up my glute ham tie-in area, which all bikini girls know we need more of. And that's the workout, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was fun, and I'll definitely do it in the future. But now it's time to go home and eat.
I said, baby, I'm a dog.